So we've heard a fair amount recently about quiet luxury, but what if you want to still have that more is more aesthetic? Here are some of the brands that I absolutely love for this. Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, glad to have you here. For those of you who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you're enjoying my videos. I put out videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion to slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself, and of course, celebrating others. So, it's come to my attention how much I gesticulate in my videos. It's been mentioned to me, and I'm sorry if you find it irritating. It's how I express. I am an expressive person. I have an expressive face. I have expressive hands, but it has been pointed out to me that I do it a lot. So if you see me kind of like sitting on my hands a little bit during videos, I'm just trying to minimize the amount that I wave my arms around whilst I'm talking to you all. Anyhow, what are we talking about today? We are talking about those bold brands, the more is more aesthetic. Okay, we've heard a lot recently about kind of quiet luxury, how there seems to be a bit of a movement towards this. Not for everyone, but some people are looking at it and thinking that's more the route that they'd like to take in terms of their style. Fantastic. I'm not one of those individuals. I will still be buying the logos, the patterns, the prints, you know, the bright colours. I absolutely will. And that is just very much my style. It always will be. There's a time and a place for everything. Let me say that. There is a time and a place for everything. And there might be moments where I decide that a slightly more pared back outfit, a non-logoed bag, a non-logoed outfit, or something that's not super bright, like not wearing a pink suit. There are moments where I'll look at my wardrobe and go, no, that's not quite the right thing to do here. Let's go for something that feels a bit more, you know, neutral or sophisticated or pared back. Those moments don't happen very often for me, and it's all about determining why I feel that way. Is it because the situation commands it, or is it because I'm worried about being judged? If it's because I'm worried about being judged, I just need to crack on and do what I'm doing. If it's because the situation calls for it, then that's different. You know, pare back. That's all good. Anyhow, I thought I would just share with you some of the brands that I think really nail the more is more aesthetic. And some of these are very luxurious, others less so, but well worth mentioning. I've got 5 on this list. And the first one is Sophia Webster. Many of you might recognize Sophia Webster for the shoes, the beautiful, beautiful shoes, but there are also bags and accessories. And the shoes that you possibly recognize the most would be those with the wings on the back of them. These come in a pump, these come in sandals, different heel heights, part of their main collection, part of their bridal collection. Stunning. I would love to own a pair of these. I think they are absolutely beautiful. They are fun, they are fabulous, they are different. They don't get the recognition they deserve. As shoes go, beautiful. I mean, these would just top off any outfit. You could wear the most simple of outfits and pair a pair of Sophia Webster shoes. Instantly, you've got a fun factor, you've got glamour, you've just got oomph when it comes to this. You can then pair it with a bag as well, and you could have a matching aesthetic with the shoe and the bag. You could just go for a bag, because again, those are quite bold. A lot of the time they come embellished with slogans and things like that, so they're a bit different. But this brand really does go all out. Doesn't offer many more simple options. Like some of the heels can be like a flamingo or a pineapple, but then they do have ones that are like pearls, like a stack of pearls as the heel. But even that in itself it's intricate, but it's saying something, and it's still fairly bold. I love Sophia Webster. Doesn't get the credit it deserves. I haven't bought from the brand yet, and I need to. I need to go into a boutique, and I'm going to try on a pair of the pumps with the wings on the back of them, because I just think they're awesome. Why not? Why not? I think they're fabulous. Anyhow, number 2, Christian Louboutin. A brand that has ebbed and flowed in popularity. In the 2010s, the early to mid 2010s, height of popularity. Everyone wanted to own Christian Louboutins. Platforms, the higher the heel, perfect. The spike loafers, the spike trainers, super duper popular. Then come into the mid to later 2010s and it seemed to kind of peter off a bit. They seemed to be associated with being a bit gauche, a bit brash. And that was funny to me because I still love them. I still love them. I think Christian Louboutin have fantastic, fantastic pieces, always have. Love the bags, love the Paloma, love the Cabata, love the shoes, love the spikes, love the crystals, love the studs, love the patterns, love the prints, love the textiles, love the high heels. Fabulous. Love them. Need to buy more. Need to buy more of all of it, okay? It's a brand that I own one pair of shoes from, which I don't think I've actually ever shown on this channel, but they're really dull. They're really dull in comparison to what you can buy from Christian Louboutin. But I think that the brand just gives every single time. It gives impact. Again, it's like Sophia Webster. You could very easily have a very simple outfit if you wanted to, and this would give oomph. Alternatively, you could lean into maximalism when it comes to Christian Louboutin. Why not? You could have a really bold outfit. You could be wearing like an Alexander McQueen or a Moschino suit and have a studded Paloma toe and a So Kate 120 and goodness knows what bright color. Like, honestly, you could just go all out as well. And I love that about it. It keeps fashion fun. Like I said, it felt like it fell out of favor as a brand for no reason other than I think fashion moved on for a period of time. But then come kind of 2020 into 2021, you started to see things pop up again. The Alta started to be purchased. The Dolly mules have become popular. The PVC pumps. And then you've still got items like the So Kate, the Pigalle, the Kate. Like, those items, the Ariza, they're not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. It's a fabulous brand. I need to buy more. A brand that has a big old monogram, and I love it for it, is MCM. And I potentially, controversially, prefer the MCM monogram to the Louis Vuitton monogram. There's just something about it. I do think some of that is about the fact that MCM isn't as frequently purchased as a brand, so you tend to see fewer MCM monograms than you do Louis Vuitton. Now, that's not to say that only Louis Vuitton monogram is a bad thing, because it absolutely isn't, but I am someone who appreciates things that have a niche, that are less frequently seen. I like to buy things in a color that you wouldn't necessarily see a pattern or a print. So I do like that about MCM. Their bags are really well made. It is one of the few brands that still does the 24 karat gold plated hardware. They do a great range of styles. Love their ready to wear. Their athleisure items are great. The backpacks, they do little bits with studs and spikes every now and then. They do some fun home pieces. The sunglasses were great. Honestly, it's a really good brand. I have some accessories and I have my 2 PVC iron shoppers, both very bold, not quiet in the slightest. And the PVC only adds to that, but they're great items. They're great bags. And I love the fact I don't really know anyone who owns them. That for me is brilliant, but they are in your face and that's cool. I'm good with that. And I get a lot of compliments when I use them. People ask where they're from. One of my logo glitch, they don't have to because it literally says MCM. Although a lot of people will say, MCM, what's that? So it's still a brand that I think is finding its feet, which is funny. It's been around for a fair while, but I think it's starting to grow in popularity and I'm excited for that. I don't want everyone to have the same items as me, don't get me wrong, but I'm pleased for the brand. Next up, this is the one that I would say you would scoff at for saying, you know, if I called this luxury, but it's a good brand. It's a good brand. It really does lean into that more aesthetic and that maximalist style, and it is Kurt Geiger. I'm a big fan of Kurt Geiger, as you know. I've been purchasing from this brand for over 10 years now. Shoes, accessories, bags. Love it. They've started bringing out clothing items. I don't own any of the clothing. I don't own any of the jewelry just yet either, but I will when they bring out the right thing for me. but I do really like it. Really like it. I love the fact that it's bold, it's fun, it's playful, and it's not break the bank expensive. That makes a huge difference. I think you can have fun with a brand like Kurt Geiger because you're not so worried about cost per wear. Because if you only wear the item 3 or 4 times over the course of a year, if it costs you £150, which is still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but if it costs you £150, you're slicing it down every single time, opposed to, you know, I bought this Dior bag for £3,000 and I've only worn it 4 times. Well, I'm still in the high hundreds of my cost per wear. You're suddenly in a much lower cost per wear when it comes to the Kurt Geiger piece. I like that about it. I've got pieces, my rainbow flat bag being an example. I've used a handful of times, but I got it at a price point that made sense for that. And I was okay with that. And they rotate their collections a lot. They do fun collaborations. They support communities. That's really important. They have a section called they have an approach called People Empowered, which is amazing. They do a lot of charitable donations. Contributions of purchases go towards their charitable fund, and they give you updates on where they're at with the Kindness Foundation. It's a really good brand. It celebrates people. It celebrates individuality. It celebrates authenticity. I love that. I think it's a fantastic brand. I really do. I celebrate them, and they in turn celebrate us. Before I go on to my 5th one, I'd be interested to know, are any of these brands that you've thought about? You know, some I can imagine maybe more so than others, like Louboutin, potentially, maybe more of a consideration than something like Sophia Webster. You know, these brands are interesting because they do have a niche. And therefore, are they the most profitable brand out there? I don't know, I'm not their accountant. Are they the most well-recognized brand out there? I don't know, I'm not their brand manager. But in terms of, you know, in terms of the way that I think about that maximalist approach, these always spring to mind. I need to buy into these brands more. And that leads me on to one that I've been frequently speaking about that I need to buy into, Moschino. I love Moschino. I love what Jeremy Scott has done for Moschino. I was really sad about the news that Jeremy Scott was moving on from Moschino because I really hope that whoever replaces him doesn't dampen the aesthetic. I love the brightness of Moschino. I love the monograms that they have. I just love how unapologetic the brand is. I'm using my hands a lot. I know this. Okay, let's just go with it. But I just love the brightness and the boldness of it. It's unapologetic. It's fun. It's playful. It's just in your face. But that's what the brand is all about, and there's a time and a place for it. Would I wear Moschino to every event? No. Would there be particular ones I would? Yes. Yes, I've spoken about how when I get married, I would love to have an Alexander McQueen suit for the ceremony, and I would love to have a Moschino suit for the reception. I probably wouldn't get married in Moschino for the ceremony, but who knows, maybe I would. But I absolutely think the brand has just, it brings fun into everything it does, into its shoes, into its ready-to-wear, into its bags, into its accessories, across all of its ranges. It's unapologetic. The looks that they turn out, the Met Gala looks. Sorry, 2019 for camp. My word, Jeremy Scott was on fire. Casey Musgroves in particular dressed, was it 2019 or was it 2021? 2019, 2021. I think 2019. But Casey Musgroves coming as Barbie for camp. I mean, come on. Tracy Ellis Ross with the picture frame dress. Phenomenal. Like, honestly, loved it. Fabulous. It's camp. It's glam. It's bold. It's vibrant. It's unapologetic. Love it. If I had all the money in the world, you bet I would be swiping my card at Moschino over and over and over. The thing with Moschino is I actually prefer like the clothing, etc. to the accessories. But I don't buy a huge amount of designer clothing, if I'm honest. And I find the cost of it harder to swallow. But if I was going to, I would buy Moschino. I wish Moschino had an outlet. Oh, I wish they had an outlet. If they had one at Bicester, I'd be there all the time. I'd have a lot of fun there. But that's that one. There are some that you're probably surprised I haven't put on this list. okay? You might be surprised that Gucci isn't on this list. I'm not a huge Gucci fan. Never have been, never will be. If I was going to own a Gucci item, I would potentially own a pre-loved Boston bag, or I would own a Dionysus. That's probably it for me. I do like the Diana as well, but it's not, the clothing doesn't speak to me, the shoes don't speak to me. Versace. I do like aspects of Versace, but I'm not a huge fan of gold. And of course, that whole thing is centered around the opulence and of gold. So as someone who's a silver fan, Versace doesn't often speak to me either. I thought about Vivienne Westwood, but actually I don't. Vivienne Westwood's silhouettes are very iconic, but I wouldn't necessarily say that they're loud. And there were probably some other brands on here that, you know, maybe you were thinking might be on here, but those are the 5 that make the most sense to me. So, as I said, I'm someone who appreciates the more is more aesthetic. I will continue to do so. Is there a time and a place in my life for having those more, you know, pared back looks? Yes, there are. Do I love seeing those looks on other people? Yes. And if that's someone's sense of style, I love that for them. It just won't be mine. So, there we are, everyone. That's my thought. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now.